Sometimes we look at others and wonder why they think, feel, or act so differently. The truth is, we each carry our own world of thoughts and emotions, shaped by experiences unique to us. Embracing these differences might just be the key to deeper connections, understanding, and love. The differences between us often seem to create barriers, but they also hold the potential for profound growth. When we listen to others, not just with our ears, but with our hearts, we begin to understand that those differences are what make us who we are. It's easy to feel disconnected when the person standing next to you seems to think and feel completely differently than you. Yet perhaps it's these contrasts that invite us to see the world from a new perspective and grow in ways we never imagined. Sometimes the hardest part is accepting that others may never fully understand your thoughts and emotions, and yet you must find peace in knowing that they are living their truth, just as you are living yours. We often struggle to find common ground in a world that seems more divided by our differences. But what if those differences weren't obstacles? What if they were invitations to build deeper connections, rooted in empathy and love? In the end, the space between us is not a void, but a bridge to be crossed. The differences we see are not walls, but windows into the souls of those we encounter, offering glimpses of experiences we may never fully understand. At the heart of every interaction lies the unspoken awareness of our differences. Yet, within these contrasts, there is a shared desire for connection, understanding, and the hope that despite everything, we can still find common ground. We are each a mosaic of our past, our thoughts, and our emotions, and yet we are always striving to understand others who may be made of completely different pieces. The beauty of life lies in how we learn to appreciate these differences rather than judge them. The mind is a vast and complicated landscape, and we are each navigating it in our own way. Our thoughts and feelings may seem like they don't align with others, but maybe the greatest lesson lies in realizing that there is no one right way to think or feel. Differences can create a sense of isolation, but they can also be the very thing that leads us to deeper self-awareness and connection. Embracing what makes us unique is a courageous act that can heal, transform, and unite. We often think our experiences are the only ones that matter, but when we open ourselves to the differences between us, we find that every perspective has value. Every person's feelings, no matter how different from our own, hold a lesson for us to learn. It's not always easy to understand why others think or feel the way they do, especially when it contrasts sharply with our own beliefs. But perhaps the differences between us aren't meant to divide us. They're meant to help us grow, stretch our minds, and open our hearts. Our thoughts and feelings are as individual as fingerprints. No two minds are the same. No two hearts beat to the same rhythm. And yet, in that vast ocean of differences, we somehow manage to find connection. Every person you meet carries a history that is uniquely their own, a set of experiences that shape the way they see the world. Understanding that their emotions and thoughts are their truth, just as yours are yours, is the first step in building empathy. Our differences are not defects, they are reflections of our journey. When we view someone else's perspective with respect, we begin to see that what we once perceived as a divide is actually the space where growth occurs. We are often taught to seek similarity in relationships, yet it is the differences between us that spark true connection. When we learn to celebrate those differences, we can transform them into sources of strength. At times, it feels like the gulf between our hearts is too wide to cross. But in truth, it's the willingness to step into the unknown, to understand what is unfamiliar, that brings us closer to one another. Our thoughts and emotions form the lens through which we experience life. When we encounter others, their lens may look completely different from ours, but it's in learning to see through their eyes that we broaden our own understanding. The differences we perceive between ourselves and others are often more apparent than real. When we listen deeply and understand more fully, we begin to see that at our core, we share the same hopes, fears, and desires. Each person's thoughts and feelings are a world unto themselves, shaped by personal experiences, challenges, and dreams. To truly connect with another is to acknowledge and honor the uniqueness of their inner world.